What's up guys, welcome back to Deck Tech for Decks. I'm your host Caleb. If you want to support me, you can now follow me on Patreon. Not only is that going to support the channel, but additionally, you'll get more say in what decks I cover. Special shout out to my high contributing patrons. Newsome, you rock. Now let's get into today's Deck Tech with Commissar Severina Raine. And honestly, this girl has a lot going for her. Not only do we get card advantage in the command zone, additionally, we get a way to gain life, which can be pretty abusable in this deck. Especially when we want to go really wide, we can use stuff like Archangel of Thune to buff up our entire board state. And at its core, this deck is just going to be a go wide token strategy. That way we can have a lot of fodder to sacrifice to Severina's ability and get a lot of card advantage. Another thing we are going to be doing in this deck is doubling up on that attack trigger. So using stuff like Strionic Resonator and Bloodletter of Aclazotz is going to be an amazing way to make sure we kill our opponents twice as fast. Another way we kill our opponents twice as fast is doubling up on all of our tokens. We can even triple up on our tokens with this new O'Hare, and honestly it's pretty busted. We are going to have a little bit of a convoke strategy in here. That way we can tap our massive board state to cast spells for near free, and that's just going to help out with our massive spells like O'Hare, right? Now we're casting O'Hare for free instead of spending a lot of mana into it, so it makes 6 mana a lot more appealing as opposed to, just outright tapping for it in an Orzhov deck. So if that sounds like a deck tech you want to get into, let's get into it. The first thing we need to do in this deck is generate a ton of tokens. Hero of Bladehold and Adeline Resplendent Cathar are perfect because they generate tapped and attacking tokens, allowing us to get immediate value out of our commander's ability. Battle Angels of Tyr are also amazing in this deck. We're going to get 3 consistent attacking creatures that generate a ton of value. Illustrious Wanderglyph is kind of similar because they will have pseudo haste since we do create the tokens on our opponent's turn. Myrael Shield of Argive can make an insane board state in this deck. She can really pop off. There's a lot of creatures that just out of nowhere create soldier tokens. God Eternal Oketra is also pretty awesome in this deck. We do run a lot of creatures, so the fact that we can gain a 4/4 token every time we cast a creature is pretty impactful. Edric Sar is going to be amazing in this deck. It's very easy to never go over 7 thralls, so we can just keep him on the battlefield to keep generating tokens. That gives us a very consistent way to generate tokens, enabling us to activate our commander's ability a ton. Alinda the Duskrose just sits on the battlefield and gets massive, and that's literally all we need her to do. Call the Coppercoats wins games. This is an instant, so you can activate it on your opponent's instep, giving you an instant board state equal to all of your opponents, and then it's very easy to attack for the win after that. Especially if you have a token doubler on the battlefield, it's just going to be over. Horn of Gondor is in the deck. There's just a lot of creatures in this deck that just so happen to be humans, so the fact that we can activate this every turn, effectively doubling our board state, is pretty busted. Blot Out the Sky is an amazing board wipe. It's very hard for Orzhov to deal with mass enchantment strategies or even mass artifact strategies, so the fact that we have a way to deal with that while bettering our board state is amazing. Finale of Glory just wins us the game if we cast it where X equals 10, which is solid. Additionally, it's just a way to get a ton of creatures on the battlefield. Luminarch Ascension is one of those cards that people ignore, but if left alone wins you the game. Felici is just here to essentially double up on all of our tokens, but I do want to talk about a quick interaction she has with Smothering Tithe and Illustrial Wanderglyph. Since she does trigger at each instep, she will double those as well. Now, you will get those tokens in the form of white spirits instead of whatever else they were, but the fact that we can use Smothering Tithe to generate a board state is kind of cool to me. Anointed Processions and Mondrak just flat double up on those tokens, and then we are running the white O'Hare to triple up on all of our creature tokens. That's going to be extremely busted. If we land this in the deck, we will just take over and win the game. Black Market Connections is very flexible in the deck. Since our deck does kind of care about having soldiers or human tokens, the fact that we get changelings is pretty useful, and the fact that we can gain life with our commander's ability means that we can full send this every turn like it was intended to do. Wand of the World Soul is extremely underrated and amazing in this deck. The fact that we can just give all of our high cost creatures Convoke and tap those tokens down to cast them for free is going to be very useful. Lotho Corrupt Sheriff, just another way to generate treasure tokens. Pitiless Plunderer, again we're netting treasure tokens, and we are running Smothering Tithe. Another thing we need to prepare for is getting that attack trigger consistently. She's only a 2/2 and easily blockable, so we're going to use stuff like Mithril Coat and Bastion Protector to give her indestructible. Whisper Silk Cloak, Key to the City, and Trailblazer's Boots will make her unblockable. We can also just straight up use Audric to decide how everybody's going to block. Reconnaissance is honestly one of the best cards in the deck. It's going to allow us to get all of our attack triggers and we won't risk losing any of our creatures. The other option is just make her really hard to block by making her massive. Anduril, Cathar's Crusade, and Archangel of Thune can easily do this. We're just going to shove a ton of counters on our creatures and we're going to become a massive threat. Moving on to the core of the deck, we have Strionic Resonator and Bloodletter Aclozots to double up on our commander's triggered ability. Hordling Broodlord's amazing since it has Convoke and gives whatever we tutor for Convoke, so 9 times out of 10 we can cast it for almost free and then grab something broken like the Ohyr and then again cast it for almost free. From there you can pretty much take control of the game. Carmen and Celestine are going to be amazing recursion pieces. Clever Concealment can flat win games. It can dodge board wipes, making it to where you completely blow out your opponents. Additionally, you can even board wipe and cast this for free if you have enough creatures on the board. Ellis Ilkor, Zulaport Cutthroat, and Corpse Knight are going to be our drain effects of choice. Very efficient for what the deck's trying to do, and it's just going to get us to the win faster. Dictate of Erebos can be extremely oppressive in this deck. All we have to do is keep churning out creatures and sacrificing them to draw cards while we decimate our opponent's board state. Crashing Drawbridge is also amazing in this deck. Just giving your whole board haste is very impactful, especially when you're trying to go fast. Enlightened Tutor and Diabolic Intent as our tutors of choice. 9 times out of 10 we're probably grabbing Reconnaissance or a way to win the game. Moving on to our card advantage, we have Esper Sentinel, notably a human for some reason and a soldier, so it fits both of the things we care about. Gix is going to not only incentivize the violence, it's going to bring people's life totals down, and it's going to give you a ton of card advantage. Plumb the Forbidden can be extremely useful. It's just going to allow you to draw a card for each creature you sacrifice. Krav is very similar, plus he's going to get massive, so that's going to be very useful. We're running Skullclamp for the old pay 1 mana, draw 2 cards, and we are running Phyrexian Arena as well, just for some solid card advantage. Moving on to ramp, we have the Golden Throne and Ashnod's Altar. That way we can sacrifice creatures to generate mana. Orzhov Signet, Soul Ring, Talisman, and Arcane Signet to finish it off. Moving on to removal, we have Cathar's Commander, notably a human. We are also running Invasion of New Capenna for some solid removal, and then we get to flip it into the Holy Frazzle Cannon, which will start buffing up our board state. Rite of Oblivion, Anguished Unmaking, and Generous Gift are going to be extremely flexible removal pieces. Swords of Plowshare just to hose over a creature, and then we have Austere Command as a solid, very flexible board wipe, especially when we are running a ton of low to the ground creatures. Alright guys, let's get into this playtest. Hopefully we can get a good one for you. We'll scroll down. No lands, we're gonna mulligan. All lands, we're gonna mulligan. We'll go to 6. We can do things here. Okay, so we went down to 5. Okay, we'll get rid of that one, and then we will get rid of Anguished Unmaking. And then we'll draw a card. Cool. Okay, nick those. Next turn. Plains. Let's throw down the Crashing Drawbridge. Ooh, I like it. This one, super underrated card. Enters tap, but that's fine. Next turn. Go here. Do we wanna? I guess we try to get as many creatures on the battlefield as possible. Like here. And then we can do this. Tap, tap. Throw out Zulaport. Ooh. Right? Yep, because we can give it Convoke. Alright. Now we can do some things. Where's our devotion at? 2 white and 2 black. Nowhere crazy yet, but we could. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. Give it haste. And then attack, and we'll get 2 white soldiers. Boop. another one. Where is it? Make token copy. Cool. Okay, and then are they tapped and attacking? Yep. Okay, cool. So right here we can drain for 4. We'll keep track of it up here. There we go. And that's going to do it. Adeline. Ooh, we're getting good now. How do we want to do this? Nykthos is 4 white right now, right? Yeah, so we'll do here, 4 white. Give our next spell Convoke. Soldier, Zulaport, Adeline. Cool. And then we'll give everything haste. Alright, this is gonna be a nutty turn. How many soldiers? This is... Yeah, so we can attack here, create 2 more human soldiers that are tapped and attacking. We can attack here. And then we'll attack here. We'll get 3 humans that are tapped and attacking. Just human, there we go. We're just gonna add a counter onto this. And then we will get, when Myrelle attacks, she's a soldier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 soldiers. They will not be tapped and attacking though. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So we've got 5 soldiers. And then this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll drain them for 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. And then we will go to our next turn. Cabal Coffers doesn't really do much here. So Key to the City. I should have been focused more on card draw, but they kept giving me good creatures. So 5 soldier tokens here. We could just Nykthos and draw some cards. I wonder if we kill everybody though. Because the whole goal of this deck is we need to try to attack. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we'll get 11, 12, 13. We'll get 3 more. So that'll go to 19 and then 20. So we can do 20 damage and we've done already 16. So we could do a total of 32 attack damage on this turn just from Severina's trigger. So this game, Severina's trigger's done 32 attack damage. We're gonna call it there. That sounds pretty good to me. In a grindier game, we could just throw out Phyrexian Arena for more card draw. And remember, we didn't activate it much, but Severina does have the ability to sack some things, draw some cards. And if attacking became an issue for Severina, we did have Key to the City in hand. So with opponents, we would sequence that a little different, a little safer. Probably Phyrexian Arena would have hit the battlefield earlier. Key to the City would have hit the battlefield earlier. But just for playtesting, goldfishing purposes, we're hitting that turn 7 mark, so I'm happy with it. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this playtest. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. The deck tech does Orzhov go wide stuff, but it does it in a way where you don't want to sacrifice creatures, but you can if you need to get the win. We did have Zulaport on the battlefield, so what we didn't kill, we would have just tapped Nykthos for a ton of white and then started sacrificing our tokens to take the rest of them out with Zulaport, which I think we're only 6 damage short from killing the entire table. So yeah, we could have got there. So I'm pretty happy with it, and that was also not accounting any of the attack damage, but it also didn't take into account any of the creatures we might have lost, so I think that's pretty fair. But with that being said, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I would like to shout out my high contributing patrons, Newsome, Chicken Salad, Excessum, you guys are amazing, and all my other patrons. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys want to become a patron and join us on the weekly voted deck tech, the link to the patrons in the description down below. As always, I hope this helped you in your deck building endeavors, and I will see you in the next one.